On this channel, there is one main focus, and that is acquire more assets. And when I'm talking about assets, I am mainly talking about rental properties. Whether it's a single family home or a multi-hundred unit apartment building, your job is to buy them all. But I'm finding out as I talk to people that you guys are still confused about how to acquire these assets. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over the exact process from A to Z on how to buy these properties so that you guys can multiply. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm Hoan. This is the Hoan Zone. This is where we help you multiply the assets that you own. And I've been an investor for about the last 10 years, and I have acquired millions of dollars worth of real estate. And like most investors, I wasn't born that way. I had to learn how to invest in properties, and it took years to master. But today I'm going to show you guys how you guys can get started, and if you've already started, how you guys can make it even bigger, make your portfolio bigger, make your business bigger, and make it so that your bank account is bigger. Make sure you guys stay until the very end because I'm going to go over a cool trick for you guys to make even more money by acquiring assets. All right, guys, let's get right into it. When it comes to multiplying the assets that you own, all you have to do is find the property, and then you're going to fund it, and then you're going to fix the property, and then you are going to fill it with a tenant, okay? Find, fund, fix, fill. That is the process. Super simple. This video, I'm gonna make it even simpler. Today, mainly, I'm gonna be talking about the funding part of it. That seems to keep people hung up for a very long time, years and years even. Hoan, I don't have the money to invest in real estate. All right, use other people's money. But Hoan, I don't understand. Okay, well, this video is going to simplify that for you. When it comes to funding the properties, there are a couple of favorites that I like. I use hard money, I use private money, I use credit cards, I use lines of credit, and then finally, I do a process called subject to. So these are my 5 favorite ways of buying properties. What's cool is these two are kind of similar, the credit card lines of credit. This one uses the seller's financing, and then this one is an unlimited source of funds if you know how to do it right. So let's get into it. So when it comes to hard money and private money, essentially that is just somebody with a lot of money. The private money could be someone like your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your coworker, your friends, whoever, people that you know that have money. If you say to them, hey, I have a property that I'm trying to buy, I'm trying to fix up, then I'm going to rent it out. I want to borrow your money. I'm going to use your money to do those things that I just mentioned, and then I'm going to pay you back. That would be private money. Hard money is just a private money lender that made a whole bunch of money and was like, wow, this is a really good thing. Let me become a professional private money lender. That's all a hard money lender is. It's a private money lender that went pro. So they have their processes and procedures and all of that kind of stuff. There's big differences between the two. The hard money lender, usually, I'm finding, they do check credit, but they are a little looser with credit. They might allow you to have a 600 credit score or 620, whereas a private money lender might not check your credit. Oh, let me write no check, right? So they might not check your credit at all, because if it's your mom or your dad or your uncle, they're not going to be like, hey, let me pull a credit report on you. Like, they're not going to ask for your credit. So if you don't have credit, you can maybe go private money route. And if you have bad credit, but it's not terrible, hard money still may be an option for you. But both private money and hard money are good options when it comes to buying and fixing up properties. The next sources that I like, credit cards and lines of credit, right? Credit cards, lines of credit. This is where Visa or MasterCard or whatever bank you're using that issued your line of credit, they said to you, hey, we like you, we like your credit score, we like your financial profile, we are extending X amount of dollars to you. So you might have a credit card with a $50,000 limit or a line of credit with a $50,000 limit. So together, if you have both, that's $100,000 that you can use for whatever it is that you want. And here's a really cool trick. You can actually use your credit card / line of credit, and then, oops, let me do that again, credit, and add that to your hard money or private money, right? Your private money and your hard money, they may require you to bring some money to the table along with theirs. The hard money lender might say, like, we'll give you 70% of the acquisition. We'll give you 80%. We'll give you 90%. We just need you to bring 10%. Well, your 10% can come from here and your 90% can come from there. So then you combine the two, and now you're using 100% other people's money because none of this is your money, right? So that's 100% other people's money, OPM. 100% OPM, other people's money. You're using that to buy the property to fix it up. Okay, so let's keep on going. The last one that I wanted to talk about was subject to. Subject to is a process where you leave the seller's financing in place. So let me give you guys an example. Here's a house, and let's say the seller is willing to sell it for $100,000. I would say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, do you guys have a mortgage on the property? And they might say, yes, we have a mortgage of $80,000. Okay, so 80,000 bucks. I would say that, hey, how about this? I will buy your property as is. I will close quick. I will allow you to stay in the house for a month while you look for your next property. I will allow you to leave your junk behind. All of this flexibility, all I ask, right? All I ask is that you leave your loan in place. I will provide you the $20,000 that you were going to walk away with. Some of you guys are lost. Let's walk it through. So the sale price is $100,000. The mortgage is $80,000. The remaining amount, that $20,000, is all the seller was going to walk away with. So if they're going to walk away with the $20,000, if we pay off the $80,000 loan with the $100,000 sale price, what I would do is I would bring the $20,000 and I asked them to leave this in place. That $80,000 mortgage might be $500 a month, right? And I would say to them, hey, I will pay the $500 a month. You just leave your loan in place. And then I will pay that off later after I fix up the property. But I will give you the $20,000 now or when we close. So in terms of your pocket, nothing changes. And in terms of the $500 a month that you owe on this loan, I will pay that I will pay the $500 a month until I pay this $80,000 off. So to them, nothing changes. The only difference is there will still be a loan in their name, and they may not like that, but it's your job as the buyer, as the negotiator, to get them comfortable with that. So $80,000, leave it in place. This is called subject to. This is a process that I really, really love. Okay, so now let me bring it all together. So we're going to use either hard money, private money. We're going to use credit card / line of credit, and maybe we're going to do a subject to. And remember that $20,000 that I needed for that subject to? That could come from a credit card or a line of credit, right? So those are the three. So these are all ways to buy the property, right? These are all creative acquisition strategies. But at the very end, it all does one trick. All get paid off via a refinance. So at the end, we go to a bank or a hedge fund or some kind of lender that does a long-term permanent finance. They refinance and pay off everybody. So this refinance, maybe the house is worth, let's say, $200,000, okay? The house is worth $200,000. They're willing to refi at 75% loan to value. That means they are willing to give $150,000. Well, if we bought the house for $100,000 and we borrowed $20,000 from here, right? We have an $80,000 mortgage here, right? And then we needed, let's say, $30,000 to fix up the property. Okay, $30,000 to fix up the property. So here total, we're all in for $130,000. Okay, we're all in for $130,000. This $150,000, when they give me that money, it goes here, pays that off, pays that off, pays that off. All the money's back. This is this right here, the refinance. That is the end result every single time. So no matter how you buy the property, That's the end result. So when I was saying that I'm going to show you guys the process from A to Z, this is A and that's Z. This may seem super confusing, and it is if it's your first time hearing this. If you've heard this 10, 20, 30 times, it's like, okay, Hoan, I get it. No problem. I can do this in my sleep. And I want you to be able to do it in your sleep. So what does that mean? You got to listen to it 20, 30, 40 more times. And how do you do that? Join the community, hoanzone.com/community. That's where I have a community where you can post things, post questions, and I'll answer them. Or you can hop on our weekly Zoom calls where you will get me live, where I will be teaching you guys. You can ask your questions, you can put comments in, but I will teach you what it is that I'm doing, stuff like this, so that you guys will hear it over and over and over, and it becomes second nature to you guys. Listen to this enough, and you guys go, oh, I'm a master, I'm a Jedi at refinancing these properties. So if you guys are interested in becoming really good at this, join the community. Again, hoanzone.com/community. All right, so let's wrap it all up. So here is a house, here is a house, here is a house, okay? So we got the 3 different houses. This one I used hard money, right? And then this one I used a private money lender. And then this one I did subject to. And then all of them I used a credit card or line of credit to subsidize the money that I might need it to have brought to the table to get it done. But here, every single one of these is 100% other people's money. Not my money, not out of my checking account. So these 3 get done using hard money, private money, lines of credit, credit card, subject to. And then, again, we refinance all of it and we pay it all back. So remember I said in the beginning of the video, stay till the end because I'm going to be sharing with you guys a pretty cool thing. So now we have these 3, right? We have these 3. And then we're going to use the refi to pay off all of these. So now I only have 1 loan, right? I have 3 loans pretty much. So I have these 3 loans. Okay, so I have refi, and then finally refi, right? So these 3 have long-term refinances in place. That means I can hold on to these properties for as long as I want. I have no need to sell them. I don't need to refinance them again. I have these refinance with 30-year fixed debt, okay? I have 30-year fixed debt. So I have these forever, as long as I want. What happens over time is that the property values typically go up, and then the debt goes down, okay? So the debt goes down. So this here, this difference, that's the equity. And that equity can be used for something really, really cool. So let me show you. So now we have the 3 properties, okay? That's an easy way, so I don't have to draw the 3 properties. The equity in the properties are going up and up and up. Eventually, at some point, I might come across a big property, okay? Here's a big property, right? This is let's call this a 20-unit building. And then these 3 have a lot of equity. I can sell all 3 and then take the equity, use that as a down payment for this property, and then add a bank loan to that. And now I've turned my 3 units that I bought today into a 20 unit that I buy later on in the future. And why that's cool is because I did something called a 1031 exchange, where when I sold those and I created all that equity, that profit, I don't have to pay taxes on the profit because I rolled it into a bigger unit. So now I've multiplied my assets even more. It's the same 3 properties that we bought way back here. I just was able to roll them over into a 20 unit later with no additional money out of my pocket, and I just leveraged the bank. So the bank might say, hey, we'll give you 75% of the property. You just need to bring 25%. And let's say the 20 unit building is $1 million, just round numbers, right? $1 million. So that means that the bank is willing to bring $750,000. I have to bring $250,000. Well, if I had the 3 properties and the equity was $250,000 after I sold them, well, there's my down payment. And then the bank's like, okay, good enough with us. So then they will bring the 750. I will have the $1 million. Then I buy the 20 unit building. Pretty cool, right? Now, again, it might not be $1 million for a 20 unit. It might be $3 million, whatever the case. But then also my equity might be higher. But this is the premise behind it. I want you guys to see that. So sometimes people look down upon buying these single family homes. Guys, that is not the end all be all. That is the beginning so that you can do something cool like this. Was that cool? I think it was cool. And if you guys like that, hit that like button. Also subscribe because new videos come out every Monday and Wednesday. So I go over stuff like this every Monday and Wednesday, and I think you guys will enjoy that. This was a super high level overview of how it is to be a real estate investor that buys rental properties, that multiplies assets, and turns their current portfolio into a much bigger portfolio. It's kind of a different way of going about the video. I usually go deep dive, but I wanted you guys to see the big picture so that you're not confused and you know exactly what to do. You're going to be using other people's money to buy the properties, and then the end result every single time is you're going to refinance. So I wanted to show it to you guys that way so that you're not confused and you know what to do next. Once you guys have this super simple plan from A to Z where you buy the properties and you refinance, now that you can see how it all flows into that one thing, now you're like, oh, I get it, Hoan. So hopefully this video really made you guys understand the process, because I know when I'm talking about hard money, private money, lines of credit, subject to, and I go all nuts with the financing, just know it all funnels into that same place. Really simple, right? So now, if you guys learned something, please put it in the comments. Let me know what you learned so that I can start doing more videos like that, because if you learn something, then that means somebody else is going to need to learn that lesson as well. So if you learned something, put it in the comments. And until next time, I'm Hoan. Let's multiply.